In this video, I'll be giving you an easy guide to unlocking the new Necrofluid Gauntlet wonder weapon on the Black Ops 7 Zombies map, Ashes of the Damned. The Necrofluid Gauntlet shoots spikes through zombies that can damage them on impact and then be recalled, causing more penetration damage and explosions, as well as a spike explosion and a melee claw attack. Additionally, the Necrofluid Gauntlet can be upgraded through the Pack-a-Punch machine on Tessie. Before we get to the guide, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here. We're going to be bringing you guys everything Black Ops 7 Zombies, including an Easter egg guide as well as side Easter eggs, everything under the sun. We'll be bringing it to you very shortly, but let's get into it. Now, in order to get this, you'll first have to progress all the way to Ashwood and have all 3 power generators turned on at the farm, Blackwater Lake, and Ashwood. I would also highly recommend getting Pack-a-Punch opened up as well, as this is kind of like on the way of doing these things, but it's all guided, so you'll have no problem doing that just in your base game. Once you do have the power and Pack-a-Punch opened up, you're going to want to go to the sheriff's office inside of Ashwood, and you'll find Klaus sitting on a jail cell. You'll notice that he's currently offline and needs to be rebooted, and in order to do this, you'll have to make your way to the Janus Towers Plaza and head to the gate towards Blackwater Lake. You'll notice there is a Project Janus storage container up on the right side here, and once you get to round 8, a Mecha Klaus will then spawn when you get close to it, bursting out of the crate. Just like in the Reckoning, all you have to do in order to kill this Mecha Klaus is shoot both of his weak spots. Then when he eventually breaks and turns into a Klaus core, break him, and he'll then drop a stabilizer chip that you can then pick up. Once you have the stabilizer chip, return all the way back to Ashwood at the jail cell where Klaus is being held and put the chip onto the door. Once you have the chip installed, it'll then say you'll have to restart him again. All you have to do is spam about 3 to 4 stuns at Klaus. Make sure you kind of get these pretty close. It's a little bit finicky, so you want to make sure those stuns are kind of like directly right on him in order to get this done properly in your game. I've seen some people having some issues with just throw the stuns off the back wall, have it bounce off, and try and land really close to Klaus. But once you hit him with about 3 to 4 different stuns, you'll notice that if you did it correctly, there will be kind of like a daze and some sparks coming out of his head. He'll get up, and similar to Mauer der Toten, he'll get up, he'll kind of introduce himself, talk about how he's Klaus, and then he'll fly up onto the map, and you'll actually be given a control for Klaus, just like you did in Mauer der Toten. Once you have Klaus, you're going to want to lead him to the Cosmodrome area and take him to the bottom of the map. In this corner over here, you'll notice there's this door. All you have to do is use the controller to call Klaus in front of the door. He'll go ahead and type on it, and as soon as he's done with that, you'll be able to flip the switch that he was just typing on. Once you flip the switch, there's going to be a red circle that spawns in the middle of this room. You have to be very careful doing this because you're going to want to stand directly in the middle of the circle and look up at the security camera where the red light's coming from. Now, I say you have to be very careful because if you move out of this, you're going to have to wait and try again next round. This can be really tough to do in higher rounds as well because you're going to be constantly staring up at this camera. So if you're in like the mid-teens to early 20s, I suggest having like a ray gun or maybe even like a Casimir or some monkeys that you can do. You can look away from the camera. That'll stop the countdown on the left side, but you cannot step outside of the circle. If you do that, you're going to have to progress to the next round. If you complete this little lockdown sequence, the gate in front of you will open, revealing an ether canister. What you're going to want to do with the canister is drive back to Ashwood and take it back to the Origins power generator that's up in the middle of the map. What you're going to want to do with the canister is take it back to Ashwood and install it into the Origins power generator. This step is super simple. You really just put it in there, and then there will be some purple-eyed zombies that spawn that'll kind of attack it. You just want to defend it from those purple-eyed zombies. Be careful not to kill the regular zombies too, because you don't really want to progress the rounds too much while you're doing this step. As soon as it's done charging up, you're going to be on a timer for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. You're going to want to pick it up and immediately get in Tessie and drive over to Blackwater Lake. This is where you'll really have to play around Tessie because the jump pads are offline during this step, so you don't try and get too smart and use the jump pads. They'll be offline, and this will cause you to severely fall behind in this step. But basically take this, get in Tessie, and then head over to Blackwater Lake and do exactly what you just did at Ashwood, where you install it into the power, kind of defend it for a few seconds, and then as soon as it's done, pick it back up, the timer will reset, and then go all the way over to Van Dorn Farm. You want to end on the Van Dorn Farm power side because you're going to actually need to stay here for the last and final step of this Easter egg. Once you're done defending the power generator at Van Dorn Farm, pick it up and then go to the bottom of the map here at Van Dorn Farm inside of the basement, and you can actually install this into the Quarterfax box that's sitting there at the bottom of the basement. Once it's installed into the box, you'll next have to make your way back up to the top of the farm and use the jump pad to go back towards Project Janus Towers Plaza. Once you're in the tower, jump back over to the farm, and on your way, take note of the 3 symbols that are on top of the barn, on top of the silo, and on top of the house. These symbols, I'm assuming, are different every single game, but it's only 3. These are the only 3 symbols you have to remember. There's not a specific order you have to remember them in. Just take note of those 3 symbols and head back down to the basement. On one side of the Quarterfax box, you'll notice an eyeball. Do nothing with this just yet. And on the other 3 sides, you'll notice that there's nothing there. But when you activate them, a symbol will appear. Your job is to hit each side of the box and put the 3 symbols that were on top of the barn, on top of the silo, and on top of the house into the box. It's not really that hard, guys. All you have to do is, like I said, remember those 3 symbols that you saw and make sure all 3 of them are on either side of the Quarterfax box. Once you have all 3 of those done, go ahead and interact with the eyeball, and right where the eyeball was, you'll now be able to pick up the Necrofluid Gauntlet. But wait, one last thing before you can get to using it. There's going to be about like 6 or 7, possibly even 8 of these like green puke stains on the wall. All you want to do is shoot the spikes from the gauntlet into the wall and then retract it using the alternate fire. It's kind of training you to use it similar to Ancient Evil if you played that map back in Black Ops 4 with the hands. You basically just want to shoot the symbols and then retract them, and then as soon as you retract them, they'll go away. You can do this very, very quickly, but if you're on a higher round, it can get a little bit hectic, so maybe Ether Shroud might help you out. But once you do all of that, you'll now have access to the Necrofluid Gauntlet Wonder Weapon. You can then Pack-a-Punch this to do more damage. I'm assuming this is the only way you can upgrade it, but if we find more ways for upgrades, I'll be bringing you guys guides for that later on. But if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Black Ops 7 Zombies content. We're coming at you with absolutely everything that we find. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Peace.